Come to the section 2, where we will be seeing about the classification of spills with the minor and the major. The core concept says nearly every national and institutional spill procedure sorts a spill into two major tracks. One is minor spill, which is handled locally by the trained staff using a simple procedure. And there is a major spill which triggers evacuation, also physicist involvement and formal emergency response. So there are two concepts. They are always divided by all the national and international spill procedures. What differs between organization is how that line is drawn. Means that the definition of minor and major is understood or the defined by different ways by different authorities. It can be by the activity, it can be by the radionuclide toxicity, by area contaminated, by number of people involved, or by combination of all these fours. This decision of minor spill or the major spill can be taken. So the typical factors which are considered to define minor versus major is the activity spill. It is in the Becquerel's or the query. Radiotoxicity of the radionuclide type means which radioisotope was spilled, how much area or the surface or the which surface is contaminated, how many people were involved into this spill activity, and ability to contain quickly. So these all the five factors are considered to define major versus minor. The effect of this classification is the activity spill can be higher activity, more likely classified as major. Radiotoxicity alpha emitters and the high radiotoxicity radionuclides, for example, iodine-131. So iodine-131 and alpha emitters, they have always have a very low threshold for to be termed as a major spill than the diagnostic gamma emitters. And the area, if the large area or the porous surface or the outside the control area, the spillage is there, so that will be termed as a major spill even if the magnitude is low. If the contamination of the skin, wound, injection, inhalation risks are severe in nature, so with the low activity also it will be termed as a major spill. And regarding the ability to contain quickly, if the spill that cannot be promptly contained is escalated regardless of its initial activity. So in that case also it can be termed as a major spill. So there are different international organizations which define major versus minor. So IAEA in its guidelines, clearly it has not said a clear boundary of what is a major versus minor, except one document. I'll discuss that in the next slide. So in that they have discussed a clear boundary, but in general, whatever GSR Part 3, NSSC general, whatever the guidelines are there, it has not clearly said anything about what is major and what is minor. I'll show you the screenshots. So, and they say that requires a written spill procedure covering minor and the major scenarios. Classification criteria are to be established by the licensee radiation protection program, informed by radionuclide reactivity and the area. So locally, they say it has to be defined. US NRC in its documents, United Nations NRC, they in their guidelines in this document, they have clearly separated what is major and what is major depends on the activity level. So that we'll see. So in that the iodine-131, they say with 1 millicurie itself it is a major spill, and with 100 millicurie of technetium-99 it is a less than 100 millicurie it is a minor spill. AERB, there is no published or numeric major or minor millicurie or MBQ table, so that is also not clearly defined. In some typical institutional SOPs, there may be some definition like tens of millicurie is a minor and hundreds of millicurie is a major. So though this definition is not very wrong as per the IAEA, one of the definition. But if we say AUSNRC definition, so it is a little vague kind of a definition, but it is not said in the guidelines. This document, laboratory training manual on the use of nuclear techniques in insects research and the control. They say the radioactive material spill emergency procedures, minor spill is less than 100 millicurie is a minor spill, and more than 100 millicurie is called as a major spill. So in this document, in IAEA document, this is of 1992, and this is still in the effect because this document has not been revised, and on the website it is not saying as this is being superseded by any other guideline. So this is in the effect, and it says that minor spill is less than 100 millicurie and major spill is more than 100 millicurie. But in none other the documents of the IAEA, this definition is there, as per my knowledge. And IAEA, this SSG 46 document, they say the spillage of a small amount of radioactive. There's no definition of a small amount. They only say small amount of radioactive material is a minor spill, and a large amount of radioactive material is a major spill. So this is a small amount and the large amount of radioactivity. This is how they are defined. But in US NRC document, which is this document, and which was published in September 19, and they say clear boundary of if it is nitrogen N13, and if the activity is more than 100 millicurie, then it is a major spill. So whatever activity is less than this is a minor spill, and whatever activity is more than this is a major spill. So for this, the iodine 131 is with 1 millicurie, it becomes a major spill. But for technetium 99M or fluorine 18, with 100 millicurie also, it is a minor spill. So if we divide everything, so in 1 millicurie bracket, the iodine 131, iodine 125, P32, strontium 82, strontium 89, yttrium 90, they all come under the 1 millicurie bracket. This is derived from this table. With 10 millicurie, the C14, indium 111, iodine 123, gallium 67, rubidium 82, strontium 85, samarium 153. So with 10 millicurie of activity, they becomes major spill. And with 100 millicurie of activity, technetium 99M, F18, N13. So what were diagnostic radionuclides which we use generally in nuclear medicine? So with 100 millicurie of activity, they are called as a major spill. So a rough definition of tens of millicurie as a minor and hundreds of millicurie as a major. This can also be defined in some way, but what is the reality of this statement is this statement may be taught in departments in informal training material, but to the best of knowledge of author, means me who has prepared this presentation, it is not clearly defined as a blanket rule by the international authorities or the Indian regulatory authorities, except at one place where there was IAEA in the document which I just showed. So the tens of millicurie is a minor and the hundreds of millicurie is a major. A simplified definition might be used in institutional teaching as a rough mental anchor, but it is not cited on the IAEA or the AERB document to the best of my knowledge, and should not be written in the exams or the regulatory documents. For the practical classification and the decision framework, the major versus minors is if the question of answer is yes of these all the questions. For example, is any person contaminated skin, wound, or clothing, or is there inhalation risk involved? Has the spill spread beyond the immediate work surface or left the controlled designated area? Is the radionuclide a high radiotoxicity like alpha or therapy emitters like iodine 120, iodine 131, lutetium 177, rather than a routine diagnostic pressure? Or does the estimated activity exceeds the department's documented major or the minor threshold? If the answer of these questions is yes, then should be treated as a major spill. And if the answer is no, then it should be treated as minor spill. So just we need to find out the answer of all these four questions, and we should be able to get the answer of yes or no for the major or the minor spill. So overall, the summary of this section 2 is we came to know about the definition of major and minor spills, contaminations, along with the differentiations, major and minor spills, the various NRC criteria, AERB criteria, and the other classifications. So from the jump point of view, some Viva questions can be there, and you can answer in the comment box. Differentiate contamination from spill with one example each. So you need to answer different type of contaminations from with the spill. So different contamination versus spill. Why does the US NRC set the lower activity threshold for iodine 131? This can be asked in the Viva, and you can answer in the chat box. So, and the question third can be, does AERB publishes a numeric minor or the major spill threshold for nuclear medicine facilities? What does this require instead? And you can be asked to list all the four qualitative factors which can upgrade the spill from the minor to the major. So this you can answer. So the recap and the next part of this video is we came is contamination is the state, spill is an event. We saw the five exposure pathways: external inhalation, injection, wound, or the absorption. We came to know about the ALARA principle, which include time, distance, shielding, and the containment. IAEA set principles, URC publishes numerical threshold, AERB mandatory reporting, and the tens and versus hundreds of Marie Curie of institutional heuristic, not the university regulatory rules. These are the references which were cited in this part of presentation. Thank you very much. See you in the next section. Thanks.